Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to film my January wrap up. If you can hear anything in the background, my family's outside playing while I film this, so it's probably a little bit loud. But yeah, I wanted to get into all the books that I read for the month of January. I read 15 books, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, 15 books, which is like very, very good for me. I'm trying to hit my goal of 100 books. I've always done like 70-ish books, so I'm trying to hit my goal of 100 this year. Obviously I'm not like, so in no particular order, I read 1,000 Heartbeats this month. I've been drawn to this cover for so freaking long. Like, isn't it just so beautiful? I love it so much. Anyways, this book was boring, baby. This book was boring. I gave it 3 stars just because like I finished it. I liked the historical type of romance kind of plot it had going on, and then also it was kind of like enemies to lovers, but it was boring. I was literally falling asleep. I had to force myself to finish it, and I don't think it really picked up. Like at any point did it like get really good. I don't know how to explain it. It was boring. Also, if you're new to my channel, I am not good with like synopsis of books, so if you're looking for that, I'm sorry. I can only give you a very vague synopsis of books, and I can tell you whether they're worth your time. I can do that. But anyways, this is like a read that I would be like, oh yeah, it's fine, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, if that makes sense. So 3 stars. I liked the historical romance and like the enemies to lovers type vibes. They both are living in different kingdoms, and their kingdoms are kind of like fighting, clashing, who's gonna take over the kingdoms. So that part was like good, but that's about it, baby. That's about it. Also, I'm sick. Can you hear it? I know you can hear it, but this one right here, Masters of Death by Olivia Blake, felt like I smoked a bunch of drugs and was just completely out of it. Like, what was going on? This book started out so good. It was pitched to me as the show Ghost. If you've ever seen the show Ghost, you know that there's a woman and a man living in a house, but the woman can talk to the ghosts that are in the house still, right? And they're really funny, they're quirky. And that's how this book started. It started just like that show. There's a realtor, her name's Violet. She goes to sell a house, but there's a ghost who won't leave. And it started out very good, but then it just started getting insane. There was so many people brought into the story, so many people with different plots. Like, I could not keep up. I read a review on Goodreads that said this book felt like a bunch of squirrels running around talking, and I was like, oh my god, I've never related to anything harder. That is exactly what this book felt like. It felt like if you just like smoked a bunch of weed and then you were just like, not weed, how about acid? Like, you did not me, I'm probably it's very anyways, listen, I don't know how a better way to put it besides the squirrels and the acid. But like, this was an insane book. It just kind of took a turn that I wasn't expecting. I wish it like would have followed more with that like ghost plot. I felt like it would have been so good if we had some just like quirky ghosts in the house. That would have been very good, but it ended up being about a demon king and then like death and death's son, and like there was relationships, and it was like, why, when did you guys fall in love? I don't even remember this. But besides that, I think I gave it 2 stars. Sorry, I have to look at my Goodreads because I genuinely don't remember what I rated this. Where is it? Oh, where the is it? Okay, 2 stars. I rated it 2 stars because it just didn't do it for me, baby. And this was a library book, so I'm happy that I didn't spend my money on this one. So anyways, the next one is a flat share, another library book. This one has been on my TBR for so long, and I'm so happy I picked it up. I believe I rated this book 4 stars. It didn't get a 5, I don't think. I think it was because it was like a bit like repetitive at times. So basically, if you don't know about this book, we have Leon, who is a doctor, and he works like from like 8 at night to like 5 in the morning or something like that. He has like a graveyard shift, I guess you would call it. And then we have Tiffy, who works, you know, during the day like a normal person, 9 to 5 type job. And so he needs someone to stay in his apartment for from those hours so he can make some extra money and be able to like pay his bills and stuff. So he gets an email from Tiffy and is like, hey, I just broke up with my boyfriend. Like, it's like a really weird email. She's like being too honest in it. And she's like, I just broke up with my boyfriend and I really need a place to stay. And he's like, ooh, that's weird. But then he sends his girlfriend to go like meet her and like make sure she's not like a weirdo because the email was like off. And her boyfriend, or her Leon's girlfriend, is not threatened by Tiffy at all. She's like that girl who's like, oh, she's ugly, like I don't have to worry about her. But yeah, so she lets Tiffy move in, and basically they start leaving each other like little sticky notes when they need to communicate instead of like communicating to each other, because Leon's girlfriend didn't want that. She wanted to be like I guess she's insecure about it. She wanted to be like the middleman. So they started leaving like sticky notes to each other so they could communicate without like communicating. And then they like end up both really liking each other, and it's just so cute. The little sticky note aspect was just like so freaking adorable. It pulled at my heartstrings. It was so good. And I loved the love story. I loved Leon, and I loved Tiffy. I thought they were both so fun and good, genuine good characters. Like, I did not hate either of them. They were just both so very good. And I highly recommend this book if you're looking for a little like closed door. There was like no spice. A little closed door romance that's like really, really sweet and heartfelt. You will love this book. I highly recommend. So 4 stars for the flat share, just because it wasn't like the best book I've ever read, but definitely up there. Okay, another library book. I really made use of my library this month. But anyways, this is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. Who let this man write this? Who let this man write this book? One, it was just not good. Like, I hated the ending to this book. I just didn't feel like it was like that surprising at all, I guess. I mean, I guess it was a little bit surprising. Like, I didn't guess it or anything, but it was just like, oh, okay. And then also, I feel like he might be a little bit racist. I feel like the N-word was unnecessarily used, and like a racist plot was, or like racist people in the book were unnecessarily used. Like, it was very strange. This is a book about 9 people get sent this letter in the mail with their name on it and nothing else, and then those people start dying, and then we start the plot just goes on from there. Like, we're trying to figure out who sent this letter, why they sent it, why these people are dying. But it was just so strange and weird. Like, I just felt like, why are you like racist? Also, you're using he like used the N-word multiple times in this book, and I think he's a white man. I don't know, maybe I missed the point of that. I totally could have, but also I just didn't find it to be like that jaw-dropping. Like, it was like, oh, okay, like I said. So I think I gave this 2 stars just because I finished it, and if I can like tolerate it enough to finish it, I'm gonna rate it 2 stars. But I don't know. I liked Peter Swanson's last book, The Christmas Guest, or whatever it was called, but this one just didn't do it for me. Okay, this was my last book of the month, so it's like freshly on my mind. And I believe I rated this 4 stars. Sorry, I keep looking at my phone. I rated it 3 stars, and I will tell you why I rated it 3 stars. Okay, so this book is about a house, right? So this house has sat vacant for many, many years, since the 80s, because the owner who owned it in the 80s like went crazy and murdered his wife and tried to murder his daughter. So since then, nobody has like lived in the house, but it's in a very good neighborhood and on a very good street where like multi-million-dollar houses are, right? So one day, this girl named Sarah, she decides to buy this house, fix it up, and sell it. She wants to make money off of it. She's a therapist, and she's also what else? I forget. Not me saying it was freshly on my mind and then completely forgetting the plot. Anyway, so she wants to fix it up, make a lot of money. She's having marital issues, and that is very apparent throughout the book. And also, she's very like horrible person. Like a horrible person. She like says in the book multiple times that she puts on this mask to like hide who she really is, because she's crazy. She's like, I have a drinking problem, my marriage is in shambles, just da da da. She's a horrible person. But anyways, the house starts being really creepy, right? She's trying to fix it up. It's being really creepy. Her husband's not around. She's like, he's cheating on me. And I liked that aspect of like the house being like spooky. Like she would say sometimes like, oh, the house is alive. It doesn't want me to do this to it or do this to it. And I was like, ooh, that's spooky. But then the reason why, well, Sarah starts going crazy, right? And the reason why she's going crazy is just like, blah. Another thriller that's like, you know what I mean? Like it just, and then somebody died at the end who just absolutely didn't deserve to die. Like, and that's not really a spoiler. I mean, I guess it could be, but like she didn't deserve to die in the slightest. Like, can we see the husband die or something? Like the cheating husband instead of like just an innocent bystander. I just thought, you know, maybe it could have been done a little bit better. Like it had such good bones, but then it just didn't play out how I wanted it to. So I gave it 3 stars just because it was like a bingeable like popcorn thriller, you could say, but like more than that, no. Would I recommend it? Maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. 3 stars. Now we're gonna get into some of the Kindle books that I read this month before I finish out with the physical ones. So I'm gonna lump these 2 together. I read The Expectation to Rule by Christina Lauren and The Worst Wingman Ever. So if you guys didn't know, there is this these books on Kindle Unlimited now. It's the Improbable Meet Cute series, and it's written by different authors. So like Christina Lauren, Abby Jimenez, Ashley Poston, like really good like little rom-com authors, and I read 2 of them this month and they were so incredibly good, you guys. I highly recommend these. They're really fast. I read them literally in one sitting, both of them, like 30-minute sittings. They're so cute and like they have like substance. Like for like a novella, it's insane that I felt like so connected to the characters, and that's how you know like an author is really good. So the first one was The Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. Is basically just like these 2 are like leaving notes to each other on this girl's tire because he like filled up the air for her one day when he noticed it was low, and she's like, oh, that's so sweet. So they start leaving notes to each other, but they never meet until like the ending, and it's just so incredibly cute. I know that didn't sound like that great, but you have to read it. I don't want to spoil too much in a 70-page book, you know what I mean? So it was so incredibly cute. And then the next one by Christina Lauren probably was my favorite so far. One day this guy emails he thinks he's emailing the school, but he ends up emailing another student at the school on accident, and she's like, hey, wrong person, but happy Valentine's Day. Oh, and they're all kind of centered around Valentine's Day, which I love because that's my birthday. Anyways, not me saying it's my birthday every single day. Anyway, so she's like, but happy Valentine's Day, and he's like, oh my bad, happy Valentine's Day. And then the next year one of them emails each other and was like, oh, it's Valentine's Day again, happy Valentine's Day. And then this goes on for years and years and years, and then they accidentally meet, but they don't know it's each other. They actually meet in the cutest, funniest way possible. I genuinely think it was so funny, and I just loved this book. I love this book. I will highly recommend this book to anyone looking for a cute, short, little rom-com-y like thing. I loved it so much. I give it like 6 stars, seriously. How can a novella give me like 6-star feelings? I don't know, but I really loved it. I thought it was so cute and the idea was so cute. But anyways, let's move on. The next book I read was Hunger, A Memoir of My Body by Roxane Gay. So this book is about basically this woman, Roxane, I believe is her name, and why she is overweight, and kind of like her memoir to her family, because something very bad happened to her when she was 12, and because of it she kind of like uses food as her crutch, I guess you could say. And I like loved this book. I think I rated it like 3 stars, maybe 4. I rated it 4 stars, and the reason I gave it 4 stars is because I felt like at certain points she could be a little like woe is me throughout the book, and it's like at some point, you know, when you go through something super traumatic, which I completely understand, it's gonna affect you horribly, right? But I feel like there's 2 ways to go about it. There's like, woe is me, like I'm just gonna let this thing ruin me, and then there's like, I'm gonna be strong, I'm gonna move on. And you know, who am I to say, you know, to move on from something like that? I'm nobody, right? But that's just personally how I would deal with a problem like that. And I just felt like maybe that's kind of just like what annoyed me, if that makes any sense at all. But other than that, I felt like this book was so incredibly good. It was just a beautiful story of like why we can use food as our crutch. And obviously if you're like overweight in any way, then you could relate to this story. I'm not explaining it very well. But yeah, I thought it was beautiful, and I just felt it on a different level. And I'm realizing that I really love memoirs. I do. I love them. Anyway, next one is Ask for Andrea. I am screaming. I did not expect to love this book the way I loved it, you guys. It was so good. So basically, we have this guy who is a murderer, right? He murders, like, he goes online, like a little dating website, and he's like this perfect dreamboat. They say he looks like Liam Hemsworth, and he like meets these girls, right? And then he like murders them. Okay, so that's crazy in of itself. But then the girls are ghosts. They're ghosts, and they come together to like watch this man go down, right? And that's crazy. But then the crazier part is this man has kids and a wife, and like my heart was racing at the end because like the kids and the wife got involved, and I don't want to spoil it, but my heart was racing, you guys. Like I was shaking, I was scared, I was like screaming, holding my breath. Like I've never had a book made me feel like so many emotions. It was insane. It was absolutely crazy. I so highly recommend this book. 5 freaking stars. 5 freaking stars. And I will definitely be picking up something by Noelle W. I don't know how to say her last name again, because this was insane. It was so good. And if that didn't sell you, if my reaction didn't sell you, just read it. Just read it because I'm telling you to. Like just read it, and I swear if you like thrillers, you will love that one. Okay, next one is called Dirty Billionaire. So this is one of the books I picked up on Stuff Your Kindle Day. I decided to read some of my Stuff Your Kindle picks because they're stuffed on my Kindle, but I hated it. I think I rated it 2 stars, maybe 1. 2 stars. I feel bad giving a book 1 star, because if I can like finish it, then I'm gonna give you more than 1 star, honestly. But even if you deserve 1 star, I don't know. But anyways, this book was about a billionaire and a country singer, and this country singer, she's in a very bad deal with her record label, and she kind of uses the billionaire to get out of it. I don't want to go too far into it because I genuinely don't care about this book. And then the ending was like huge, biggest cliffhanger, and when I don't feel like picking up the second book on a cliffhanger, then there's a problem there, you know what I mean? Also, sorry about the lighting, it's going in and out. But anyways, I don't really recommend that book. Okay, I believe that's, oh no, one more Kindle pick, you guys, which how could I forget? So I read On the Same Page by Haley Cass. If you watch my blog that I most recently posted, I talked about this book in that vlog. But basically it's a sapphic romance between Gianna and Riley. So Gianna's like an influencer, right? And she's really good just like being by herself and focusing on her work. And then we have Riley, who is a newscaster, but she keeps going on dates with men, and they keep just like being horrible, and she like wants to find somebody, she wants to settle down, and she tells this to Gianna, and Gianna ends up giving her a gift that gets mixed up with her actual gift. And Riley's like, well, I don't want to spoil it because not my pop socket falling off. That's actually so traumatic. Okay, it went back on. Oh my god, that was about to be so traumatic. Anyways, why am I so dramatic? So I don't want to spoil it because it's like a funny, cute part, but she gets the wrong gift. She like gets the wrong impression from Gianna, if you can guess what it is, and then they end up falling in love. And it's just such a cute book. I give it 4 stars because I love the relationship between Gianna and Riley. They were best friends before they you know, fell in love, but their love story and how they cared for each other as friends before becoming like partners was just amazing and so cute, and I loved it. And Gianna had this like backstory where she was like this really horrible person before she met Riley, and Riley just like completely changed her and made her like the person that she wanted to be. That Riley was like, I can see this person inside of you, and you're just not hanging around the right people. And I just found that to be so cute. And I gave it 4 stars just because it was so incredibly long. I want to say this was like a 500 to 600 page, okay, maybe it was like 500 page romance book, and it was just like, that's a little bit much, but it was a very good book. Out of the Kindle, I have 2 more books left to talk about, and then I'm gonna go sit my sick butt on the couch and make a tea or something. I don't know. Anyways, I read that's literally how I feel right now. Things we left unfinished. So me and my bestie girl Lakin, she's my best friend ever, and I love her so much because she like helps. She's like a romance reader, right? Sorry Lakin if you don't want me to like divulge your life on YouTube, but I am gonna just a little bit. She's like a romance reader, right? She reads lots of stuff, but she really likes a good romance book. And something that I love about reading books with her is she helps me read those romance books that are just sitting on my shelf, and I just love that. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have ever picked up this book. Like genuinely, I would have never picked it up, and I'm so happy I did because I have found a 6-star read. When I'm telling you, this book was so incredibly good, you guys. So good. So anyways, let me give you a quick synopsis so you're like a little bit interested. So we're following Georgia and Noah. So Georgia, her grandmother recently passed, and her grandmother's like this really famous writer, right? And she has this story that she left unfinished. So Noah comes in and is like, hey, please let me finish this story that your grandmother wrote. I love her so much. Like, I just want to finish it. And Georgia's like very hesitant. She's like, I don't know about that. But then she ends up letting Noah finish it. And this is kind of like their love story about that. But then in the same book, we are following the grandmother back in like the 1940s, I believe during like World War One. I could be totally wrong. It could be 2. No, it's 1. Maybe it's 2. It was 2. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a history girl. But anyways, so basically we're following the grandmother and her, like the love of her life, Jamison, who they were both in like the army, and they were both in like the war in England, and they were he was like a pilot and she was like working as a like what do you call it, a dispatch, maybe, like something like that. It's like that, maybe not exactly a dispatcher or whatever, but something like that. But anyways, this is their love story, and I'm telling you guys, it's like the best love story I've ever read between those two. I fell for Jamison so hard. Like, he gave me butter freaking flies. And then like their story is also so tragic. It's so beautiful but so incredibly tragic, and that is what killed me. I haven't bawled, cried like I have in a book in so long like I did with this one. I was crying. My bestie was crying. She was like, Natalia, you're not ready. And I was like, I'm not ready. And I was reading it, and I'm like this far through, and I'm like, oh, I'm not crying. And then I get like to the last couple pages. Tears, baby, tears. I just could not do it. It was like so incredibly emotional, but also the most beautiful, heart-pulling string story I've ever read in my life, and I highly recommend. I actually went out and bought what is it called, The Last Letter or something. Maybe I just butchered that. I don't know. It's from Rebecca Yaros's Backlist. All I've ever read from her is Fourth Wing, and I thought it was like okay, but this one, Rebecca baby, you can write a romance. You can write a romance, girl. This was insane. This was so good. I loved it. I loved it. Okay, and last book of January, Magnolia Parks. Magnolia Park. I entered my Magnolia Parks era, and I was like so excited. I was like, I'm gonna love this. I bought like the whole, can you guys see it? I have the whole series, right? I pre-ordered the last one because I'm sick in the head, and I will buy the whole incredible series, even if I haven't read the incredible. I will buy the whole entire series even if I haven't read the first one. But this is mid to me. This is a very mid book to me. And I'll be honest, I liked it, but it just wasn't like everything. And this is people's like ride or die book. This is people's book that they are like, I love you. Like, I see people die over this book. And okay, anyways, this book is about Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne and their basically toxic relationship between each other. And it is just so toxic and gross. It's definitely giving Chuck and Blair. I know people say this is like gossip, British Gossip Girl, and they're very, very right. It's giving Chuck and Blair. But the thing that bothered me is like BJ's like, Magnolia is my everything. No other girl will ever compare to Magnolia. Like, she is everything. But then he'll go and cheat on her. He'll go and cheat on her. And if you love somebody that much, there's no way in hell that you can like go be with somebody else. It just doesn't compute in my brain. And that is like what is throwing me off. It's like he says the sweetest things about Magnolia. He's like, she is everything to me. And then he'll be like, screw her. I'm gonna go sleep with somebody else. And it's like very confusing to me. And like BJ is a horrible, horrible boyfriend. And then he like gaslights her at the end. He's like, you need to realize you did things wrong in this relationship too. It just wasn't me. And I'm sitting there like, baby, she didn't do nothing wrong. She started using other guys as like sleeping with not really sleeping, but she would like go on dates with other guys to like make BJ jealous because of what he did to her. And I think that's valid, completely valid. Like, she is able to do exactly what she wants to do because of what you did to her. Like, he just like gaslighted her into thinking it was her fault, and then like they both kind of like apologized to each other. I could go on and on why this book was just like not that great. Like, I just didn't think it was everything. What I did like is like, because it was so toxic and like crazy toxic things started happening, I was eating it up because it's like whoa, how could he do that? Like, you know what I mean? It's like a train wreck and you can't look away is exactly what it is. It's like the train is completely on fire and you're just shocked. You're so shocked into staring at that train. And that is what this book felt like to me. So I rated it 3 stars. I am going to read the other books because I have them all. And the next book is about Daisy Hates, and I'm interested to see the relationship between her and Christian, because Christian has a thing for Magnolia, or did have a thing for Magnolia. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. And hopefully I like it more than I liked Magnolia Parks. And also hopefully I like the rest of the Magnolia Parks universe more than I liked this one. So anyways, that was my tangent on Magnolia Parks, and that was all 15 books that I read this month. Let me know what books you read this month that were 5 or 4 stars that you highly recommend to me. Yeah, I'm always looking for books, especially on Kindle, ones that are free, you know what I mean? But anyways, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this booktube channel. Please don't forget to comment either, because it helps my channel grow. And let's leave like the fire heart emoji, the heart that's on fire. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.